I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. It's time!
It's Sunday, November 14th, 2021. This is the Church of MMA podcast. My name is Tabor Cragen.
My name is Mason Knight. This is episode 98, Holloway versus Rodriguez recap. After that, we jump to some MMA news, and then we talk about the Vieira versus Tate preview show. But before we do all that, Tabor, where do we begin?
Social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at the Church of MMA. Guys, if you want a link to everything, you go to our website, thechurchofmma.com. Gives you a link to not only all our social media accounts, but our Patreon as well. $5 a month gives you exclusive vlogs, exclusive second service podcasts, and so much more in the world. He's already in the chat. He's already in the chat talking shit. We see you there, Cosmic. It's all good. We will get to that.
And if you watch the Patreon exclusive podcasts, you will find out that we just came up with a name for our Patreon subscribers. We have 4 Patreon subscribers now, but they are the disciples of the Church of MMA. So go and be a disciple. $4.99 a month gets you access to all the things Tabor just said. So
absolutely. Gids, before we get started, do you mind fixing my camera? It's cutting off the top of my head for me. Thanks, my guy. Thank you. Guys, the disciples. What a fucking fantastic name that is.
it was a great name. Who came up with that?
It was Tanner.
It was Tanner, yeah. Shout out to Tanner.
Tanner
with that.
came up with that, and then freaking Logan came up with second service. So much credit to them because we're stupid, guys, and we can't come up with good shit ourselves, so thank God. Thank God. No, who came up with the name? That was you, right? The church?
Yeah, the church.
And it's
inspired. I'm not going to sit here and lie to anyone. That was inspired by the man himself, Joey Diaz, the church of what's happening now, which is now Joey's joint. But at the time, I said, oh, man, the Church of MMA. I just love the way that came off. So that's where it is. So there's a little history lesson on the church.
History of the church coming soon. And a $5 super sticker from Cosmic. Hey, shout out to you, my guy.
Shout out to you, Cosmic, already in the chats. Yeah. We appreciate you.
Where's my merch, you scumbags?
Is that what he just said?
Did we order it yet?
I have to make it. But today, guys...
yeah, that's right, because we didn't have what he needed, right?
We didn't have what he needed, but we're working on a bunch of stuff afterwards. So if you guys see like a test stream, don't freak out. We're trying to get more mics so that we can have like 6 mics on Fight Companions. Where we brought in another board. I painted the wall on Veterans Day since I had it off. And then I'm going to work on that today because I absolutely have to. I need to get that done for people. And we got to send Cosmo his shirt.
Yeah,
today.
and apparently he filled out. I saw on Instagram he sent a picture. He went on Teespring, filled out all the
information. Oh, he filled it out for us?
So we just got to essentially copy and paste it.
We're going to get all that done today. Shout out to everyone who supports the podcast. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. All of this money goes straight to hookers and cocaine. So thank you for feeding my addictions. You don't understand how much I appreciate that. No, I'm joking. Obviously, it's going back into the show. Cameras coming soon. Like we were talking about buying another board and the future. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm very excited for the future of this podcast.
Yeah, and shout out to Mikhaili too. I need to give her a shout out right away. She sent us $200 to get 2 more mics. So shout out to Mikhaili. That was the biggest donation we ever had on this podcast. And we have the mics are on their way already. So shout out to you, MJ.
Cosmic, I know you're saying that you want to buy us a fucking 4K camera. Like, bro, that's $1,000.
I know. Like, holy fuck. So yeah, I was I was a little drunk last night after the Fight Companion and whatnot. We went over to Tanner's and played some poker. And he was messaging me talking about like a 4K camera. And I was like, dude, what? I was like, bro, I'm way too drunk. What are you trying to say? Because I didn't know what he was. But yeah, that's wild.
That's insane, man. Like, please, like, don't just do it. Come and talk to us, please. Because like, as much as we appreciate that, man, that's a lot. That's a lot of dough, my guy. That's a lot of dough. So get in contact with us, and we'd love to have you back on for Fight Companion for sure.
Absolutely.
So let's get into this card. Start at the top, as always, recap show. Max Holloway, Yair Rodriguez.
Yes. I like the little flair there, Tabor.
Yeah, I'm a little bit Hispanic.
No, but you know what, dude? This totally lived up to the hype. We were very excited. We were wondering what Yair Rodriguez was going to be able to do after almost 2 years off here in the octagon in the UFC. And this was an awesome fight. Though Max definitely won the fight, won on all 3 judges' scorecards. One judge had it 4 rounds to 1 max, which you could make an argument for, but 48-47, 48-47 on the other 2 judges' scorecard. But, man, the volume between these guys was absolutely insane. And we got it from Yair. We got the spinning back fist. We got the flying knees. And Max returning some of his own, too, man. Max looked great. And there's this talk that, Max isn't the best boxer, blah, 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 blah.
He did eat a lot of damage in that fight.
Yeah, so he does eat a lot of shots. But, again, man, he delivers more than he gets hit. So he's hitting guys more than he's getting hit. And at the end of the day, he wins fights. So again, I do agree. He does get hit a lot, but he also, that output is insane out of Max. I swear this guy's got an infinite gas tank. He didn't even look tired in this fight, man. No. After 5 full hard rounds against Yair Rodriguez, and he was getting cracked with some big shots, man.
Yeah, well, the chin on this man is ridiculous. On both men, because they're fucking beating the shit out of each other.
Yes, they were. I mean, what a fight. And for a fight night, too, that's what's so insane about the UFC right now is they're putting on top-notch fights. From start to finish on this pay-per-view, even the early prelims were incredible fights. There were knockouts. There were wild fights, wild exchanges. I mean, dude, this organization, this mixed martial arts, man, just keeps getting better and better. This is the highest level in the world, in my opinion, is the UFC. So shout out to everyone on this card because it was insane.
Guys, we did do a fight opinion last night. So if you have not checked that out already, open it up in a separate tab. Don't do it right now. Finish this episode first, but then watch our fight companion. Great content. That was actually an absolutely awesome fight companion last night. Shout out to Mary and shout out to Tanner for showing up last night. We really appreciate that. But dude, this main event was wild. It was insane. It's possible fight of the year contender. I mean, dude, they were swinging with malice intent in almost all of those shots. And then to Max Holloway to just, I mean, a lot of people are saying that first round was very close. And Yair has an argument there for winning it. I leaned Max Holloway watching it last night, but I guess I'll just concede. I'll say Yair won the first.
Right, because that first round was extremely close.
Extremely close. Yes. And Yair was landing the power shots, but Max was getting nice, clean counters. It's just, I don't remember the numbers. I'd have to look that up. But I mean, it was so close. It was razor thin. I wouldn't be mad if that first round was really a draw, in my opinion. But the unorthodox strikes from Yair Rodriguez, that is probably, I've never seen Max Holloway take that much damage in a fight, other than maybe a Dustin Poirier fight.
Right. When he has guys where he completely outclasses like a Calvin Kattar, where it's not even on the same level. Yair Rodriguez, and I love what Max said afterwards. This is why no one wants to fight this guy. And it's so true. That's why no one wants to fight Yair Rodriguez. He is dangerous, man. And again, he landed those big shots. Those unorthodox strikes are absolutely beautiful. This guy is still a top contender in this featherweight division. Bud Holloway and Bud Volkanovski, I mean, those really are the 1 and 2 in this featherweight division right now, but I got Yair right under that, man. He's a phenomenal fighter, and I'm very excited that he was back in the octagon finally. And here's the matchup.
Years he was off.
I know, and it sucks. Here's the matchup, guys. Yair Rodriguez. You know who I'm going to say? Zabit. Magomed Sharipov. Absolutely. Yeah. That's the matchup I want to see now. I know Zabit is out of the rankings. He hasn't fought in a year and a half, 2 years, but that's the matchup I want to see, man.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I'm reading the chats right now. It's just funny. Okay. It's funny. We'll get into that in a second. But I absolutely love that matchup. I wouldn't mind seeing those men fight 3 more times. I know that sounds crazy. 4 fights. What the fuck? Doesn't make any sense. I just love the fight. I love that fight. And I actually agree with, I'm going to bring it up, AJ Wolf. Max Holloway's style won't beat Volk. That style last night, I don't think so. He took way too much damage, and Volkanovski's probably going to look at that fight and try to figure some more things out because if Max Holloway comes into the fight like that, I don't know if I see Max Holloway doing what he did in that second fight there. He took a lot of damage last night, and that's, that has a lot of people on edge.
Okay, and I understand that, but stylistically, Alexander Volkanovski and Yair Rodriguez are 2 completely different strikers. That's something we have to address right away, right? Yair throws wild, crazy shots. That's what makes him fun and entertaining. I think Volkanovski is more on the technical side. I definitely don't. I understand what you're saying, but again, I think Max Holloway still makes it very competitive against Alexander Volkanovski. And you got to look at that second fight, man. That second fight was so close between those two. And Max, you can't sit here and honestly tell me anyone else in this featherweight division deserves this shot more than Max Holloway at this point. He didn't have to take that fight. He didn't have to, and he did. So like at this point, who else would you have?
Well, nobody. That's the only matchup to make. That trilogy is going to happen. I mean, Dana was saying that that's the only fight to make right now, and he's looking at making that fight as soon as possible, which is good. You know, give Max Holloway some time. That was a fucking war last night. Absolute war.
And this is something I agree with Cosmic. He just said Volk is going to hit him with the leg kicks again, and Max has got to combat that somehow.
Well, look at last night. I mean, he was getting smashed with the calf kicks by Yair, and it really slowed Max down, and I think that's what contributed to Yair possibly winning 2 of those 5 rounds.
Well, and to the success that Yair had on the feet, too. I mean, we actually saw Max Holloway go for multiple takedowns.
Yes,
he
and
was
he
effective
won. He
with
got him, too, and he was dominating on top a lot of that fight, which shocked me. Because that is something you don't see in Max Holloway. He always just outpoints guys, outboxes them, fucks them up on the feet. But he utilized every single strength he had last night, and he really showed that he's a pretty decent fucking wrestler.
He's a well-rounded fighter.
Yeah.
Max Holloway isn't just a striker. Like, if he's able to take a guy like Yair down in multiple times as well, and that's really like the mindset of a champion to be able to go in there, you know, you're getting shoot up in the legs and to have the wherewithal to shoot for the takedown because you knew that was affecting Max. You could see it. After that first round, dude, you know, Max stands up and he did a good job of bluffing. I'll be fair, but you could tell it was heavier, man, when he was standing there. It was heavier. So, nonetheless, man, absolutely great fight. I enjoyed this, and I want to bring this up too. We have now said Fight of the Year contender 3 straight weeks in a row.
I know.
3 straight weeks in a row.
I know. Is
How
that
crazy is
recency
that?
bias, or are we just fucking, or are they just that good? Because I think they're just that good, dude.
Well, no, you had the Petr Yan, Corey Sandhagen fight,
Yep.
right? And then now with this UFC 268, you had Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler, and now you're talking about Max Holloway versus Yair Rodriguez.
And a few weeks before that, you had Brian T. City Ortega versus Alexander Volkanovski. Oh,
Absolutely, man. It is going to be so hard. Our end of the year show is going to be so hard to pick Fight of the Year.
Yeah, I think
we're going to have to go through and rewatch all of them.
The only easy one to me is for right now for all of our awards is probably Fight of the Year. Like, it's got to be Kamaru Usman, correct? Like, it's
absolutely. He's pound for pound.
You know, pound for pound best. But, you know, we're talking about Max Holloway here. So, obviously, that's the fight they make. I don't know when they make this fight. I'm just very excited for it. But with the performance that Yair put on Max last night, I think I'm all in on Volkanovski winning that matchup, dude. I think he saw those calf kicks really, really hurt Max. And yes, Volk was landing a lot of leg kicks in that second fight, but it wasn't with the ferocity that Yair was landing with, and it didn't slow Max down with the way Yair did last night. So I think that's going to be a huge key coming into this next title fight.
And to actually add to your point, too, Max Holloway is not going to have that same success rate with the takedowns that he did against Yair with Alexander Volkanovski. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
so
exactly,
he's going to have to switch. He's really going to have to play defense when Alexander Volkanovski is constantly going to that calf kick, those leg kicks. He's going to have a very good defense in order to combat what Volkanovski is going to do. Because I'm telling you right now, Max is not going to have that same success. It's just not going to happen against Volk.
Yeah, Cosmic, shout out to you, my guy. I agree with Tabor. If Max can get his jiu-jitsu and wrestling up, he can beat Volk. Though Volk is a great wrestler and beats Max there, yeah, I think, you know, if it goes down to the ground, I'm leaning Volk in that fight. We don't see a lot of Volk's ground game, but he's suffocating on top. So It really depends on who lands on top in those exchanges, those scrambles. But even the way Max was taking Yair's back and he was showing the submission threat, it was beautiful to watch. Obviously, Max Holloway is a very well-rounded fighter. I do agree with you that these are the 2 very best featherweights in the world, but I think we're going to start saying here pretty soon, but Volkanovski.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're getting to that point. We're getting to that point. And the way, you know, again, not to get too far off on Volkanovski, but the way he was able to get out the multiple submission attempts by Brian Ortega, literally known as T-City, it is incredible, and it's really the testament to his championship spirit and the fact that he will not give up under any circumstance. That guy will continue to push through. He's literally got the Warriors mentality, the Warrior spirit, dude. So
absolutely,
I think it's a tall order for Max Holloway again, and I'm not going to disagree with you there, but it has to happen. And so that's where my argument is. It has to happen, because what else is there right now in this featherweight division? Max Holloway deserves this, and he's got to get it.
Yeah. Shout out to Cosmo again. Y'all should zoom in Cosmo and Ant for UFC fight review. Would be a good addition to the love to bring people on to our live streams and stuff. I'm not saying I don't trust you guys. We just don't know. Like,
we don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And like the only problem with live is like if
someone
someone that we
accidentally
don't know
fucks up,
says something,
and then we get banned for it.
Right.
But Patreon exclusives, those are absolute. Like we were talking last night. If we want to get to a point where we can start flying people out on the show for fight companions and stuff like that. And our day ones, the guys that are here right now, y'all are fucking at the top of the list. That is for damn sure. And shout out to AJ Wolf. Volk is pretty good. As a pretty good wrestler. I don't know his takedown defense stats, and he is strong. It will be tough. I don't see Max Holloway taking Volkanovski down.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of the point that I was saying. Like, he's not going to have that success that he had with Yair Rodriguez the same way with Volk. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Shout out to you, AJ Wolf. Your new name. I don't know if you're already subscribed, but if you aren't, make sure you smash that subscribe button.
He's been in the chats a couple times.
Okay.
I've recognized AJ Wolf.
Okay,
Thanks for being here, bro.
Guy. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome to the congregation.
Absolutely. Let's just talk a little bit of Yair Rodriguez. You mentioned Zabit Magomed-Sharipov. That was a matchup they tried making last year. It never happened. They both men at some point. I think Yair Rodriguez had USADA problems. There was that weird situation where he just wasn't answering his phone, and then USADA struck him with a suspension because of it. Like, you have to be like, that's just like, let's just talk about that for a second. Super unprofessional. Super unprofessional. You have to be available at all times with USADA, and you know the deal, man. I'm not saying that he was purposely avoiding these people. He said he just fucked up as the type of guy he is. He doesn't have his phone on him at all times. But, I mean, there's no excuses for that, man. That suspension was well-deserved. You have to be available for these people at all times.
Yeah, no, definitely, absolutely. I mean, you're a professional fighter. That's what you get paid for. You got to have your phone on you. You know, I don't think it's a great excuse, but let bygones be bygones. I mean, out of some of the fighters that we see, like John Jones, Conor McGregor, that's the least of our worries, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you're fucking right. It's not like they're not even comparable in that situation. No. But, I mean, so is it Zabit Magomed-Sharipov the only matchup to make? This man's out of the rankings. He's been fucking gone. Where is Zabit? Where are you?
I don't know. I don't know where Zabit's at. It's been almost 2 years since we've seen him in the octagon.
It's such a damn fucking shame because that is an elite fighter in that division. I'm not going to say he beats a Max Holloway or Volkanovski. I just don't know yet. But if there's fucking anybody that probably can, it's a guy with a style like that. Yeah. Which is why the Yair Rodriguez matchup was so highly anticipated. Remember when that first got announced? Me and you were fucking hyped for that.
Oh, hell yeah. That was a very highly anticipated fight from both of us. We could not wait for that striking matchup, dude. Absolutely could not wait. I'm going to throw a name out here. Now, obviously, you could do the Chan Sung Jung rematch. I don't want to see that, even though, ironically enough, Korean Zombie was ahead on the card there at that point in the fifth round when he threw that spinning elbow that knocked him out. Fucking wild, insane, right? And it's a Korean Zombie, so hard to put away, and he hit him with that crazy elbow. But here's a name. I'm going to throw him out there because I think he deserves a big matchup now that Yair Rodriguez is coming off the loss to Max Holloway. Here it is, Arnold Allen.
Oh, yes. He
Arnold
needs a big
Allen.
fight. This man has kind of been in a bit of a limbo.
Yeah.
Who is this man going to fight? I'm just going to pull up the rankings real quick. Yeah, that makes sense.
Keep the camera on Tabor. I'm going to shut that
That makes a lot of sense, dude. Like, that's a fucking fantastic matchup. I mean, I'm going to look at the rankings right now. Calvin Cater's matched up. Josh Emmett's matched up. Giga Chikadze's matched up. Dan Ige. I mean, that doesn't tickle my pickles, but Edson Barboza got flatlined. Dude, that's the only matchup. That is the only matchup. Arnold Allen's sitting right now at number 6 in the world. Extremely underrated fighter. This man is so fucking well-rounded. I really do believe he could compete with anybody in this top 5. And a Yair Rodriguez matchup might be the one to make if a Zabit Magomed-Sharipov fight is off the table.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but I mean, Arnold Allen is so impressive, man. I mean, he even just beat Sadiq Youssef via decision. It was unanimous. Like, he has looked good in every single one of his fights. And, like, this is a guy who's young, who's talented, and a fresh face. Fresh face relatively in this featherweight division, especially in this top echelon of the top 5 or 6. I think he's sitting at 6 now, but still, a number 3 and a number 6. I love that matchup, dude.
I love it. It's fantastic.
I want to see where he's at in this featherweight division because you could very well see Arnold Allen run and get a title shot eventually.
Okay.
So.
Let's just say that's matched up. We're playing matchmaker right now. It's Yair Rodriguez, Arnold Allen. What do you do with Zabit then? Because he's got to come back. How about Zabit Magomed-Sharipov versus Brian T. City Ortega? That's a number one contender.
Dude, I love that.
If Zabit wins that fight, he's getting a title shot.
Really?
I
Even
think
after
so.
2-year layoff?
I think so. Dude, this man was number 3 in the world before he got dropped out of the rankings. This man is an elite featherweight contender. We just don't know where he is. We just don't know where he is. Where is this man? Please come out of hiding.
Ooh, AJ Wolf and Ant W asking, what about Yair and Brian T. City Ortega? That's also a great matchup. Here's the thing, though. Ortega gets him on the ground, it's game over.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over for Yair. Like, let's be realistic, especially with the success of the takedowns, which we saw from Max Holloway last night. It's going to be 10 times worse with Brian Ortega. You're trying to tell me T-City isn't going to pull off a submission win against Yair? That's the only problem I have with that matchup. I mean, I like it. I just think that's a fight Brian wins.
Yeah, I agree. Shout out to Ant W. Yeah, Zabit or the Korean Zombie. That's a great matchup, too, because the Korean Zombie, like, as much as I'd love to say this man's in the mix for a title shot, he's just not. I think he needs to get 1, maybe 2 more big victories. Who knows what this featherweight division is really going to happen, because I feel like there's not a whole lot of contenders for Volk to fight right now. I mean, we are making this Volkanovski Holloway 3 fight, so we're going to need new names. We need a Chan Sung Jung to get up there. We need a Arnold Allen to get a big victory. We need a Zabit Magomed Sharipov in here. I'm super excited about
now, just recently we just got Josh Emmett back. He's scheduled to fight Dan Ige December 11th on that UFC 269. So, we have these guys coming back from injury, and I'm excited about Josh Emmett. He is a little bit older, but that guy can crack.
That guy can crack like no other.
Crack.
Yep.
He can put you lights out. So I mean, there are entertaining fights in the future. But again, you have Max Holloway at number 1, and he's kind of bull ran through this division, and so is Volk. So it makes it really tough.
Let's end it right here.
Okay.
If Holloway loses the 3rd fight, what do we do with him? Is he just going to keep off killing contenders, keep off fucking people up from getting their title shots, or do we make him move to 155?
I know that's the issue, and this is kind of what I said on the Fight Companion last night. It's all in for Max Holloway.
Yeah.
For this fight, if he does not win, he's got to do something, because he'll never get another shot again. You can't go 0-3 against the champ. You can't, and then get a 4 title shot.
No,
like the guy would have to go on like an insane win streak in the featherweight division. I think what Max does realistically, if he does lose to Volk, go up to 155. This guy is so sucked in at weigh-ins, bro. Like, you can tell the weight cuts take a toll on Max Holloway. This guy puts on a little, and I'm not talking like muscle, like weightlifting.
He's still
muscle.
young. He could take time off to bulk up.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Max can definitely fight at 155. I mean, look at other people who have fought in the featherweight division. Dustin Poirier at one time, Conor McGregor, like all these guys he fought early on. Dan Hooker, 145. And they made the transition to lightweight. I think if Max loses that fight to Alexander Volkanovski, just move up, because he can fight there at 155, and he proved
He's competitive.
That. He did lose against Dustin Poirier, but again, tough son of a
that was a great fight, and he had Dustin hurt multiple times too. It's just it wasn't enough. Dustin was cracking him with way too much power.
Exactly. So, but again, Max Holloway stood in there, no problem, man, no problem. So, I like that matchup. I like that for the future of Max Holloway if he does not win in that 3rd title fight. Just move up to 155, because Max is entertaining, man. He sells, period. End of discussion. So
absolutely,
give me that.
Absolutely. Let's get into church coin bets. I put the biggest church coin bet in the history of this podcast on Max Holloway. I risked everything on that. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
I was a little bit nervous because he was getting cracked with big shots, and we were like fucking on pins and needles. Like, is any of these going to put him to sleep? But Max Holloway's got the chin of the gods. It just didn't happen. So I put 20,000 church coin on Holloway, and that gave me a super small return of like 3,000 church coin.
Right, yeah. I put 1,000 on Yair just in case, the knockout. But I said in episode 97 multiple times, I thought Max was going to win it. I'm a sucker for the dogs, especially when the guy's coming in at like plus 550 or something. I was like, okay, whatever, 1,000. But yeah, no, bet 1,000 there and lost.
All right, Gids, you put 7,500 on Holloway. We didn't even do the math. I have no idea what the return is. That's probably like 800 or 900 church coin or something.
Easy money.
It is what it is.
All right. Shout out to Cosmic. Are you guys excited for the Font fight? I think he has everything to be champ. Yeah, we will be breaking that fight down very soon. Probably not this episode, but maybe the next one after that.
Yep.
Something like that. That fight's coming up. Yes, we are very excited for that. I love me some Rob Font and the Jose Aldo matchup. It's a dream come.
We'll also be doing a fight companion for that one too, December 4th.
Absolutely.
We absolutely have to. I mean, that card's actually looking really nice.
Yeah, it's a great fight night.
Yeah,
it's a great fight night. I think there's only one fight night after 269. I think it's Derek Lewis and somebody.
Dawkins. Or not Dawkins. It's, what's his...
I don't know.
Give me a sec. Sorry. No, it is Dawkins. What am I doing? Yeah, Chris Dawkins.
Oh, okay.
Derek Lewis, Chris Dawkins.
Cool. Good matchup there. But let's move on to the co-main event. Ben Rothwell and Marcos Rodrigo de Lima. We got to start here because this is the only thing fucking people are talking about with this fight. Was that a good stoppage by Herb Dean? Because a lot of people are talking about the hesitation, man. When you have a fighter buckle to his knees like that, obviously that was a flash knockout. He came right back to and then shot for the takedown. But if you're a ref, you see a man buckle his knees like that and you go to stop the fight, you cannot grab a fighter, tell him to stop the fight, and then once you see he's going for a takedown, change your mind, back up, let them both fall to the ground, and then have a fighter look up at you and went, are you stopping the fight or not, my guy? Like, what are we doing? Oh, yeah, okay, it's over. It was terrible. It was a bad look for Herb Dean, and this wasn't the first time he's had a pretty egregious stoppage, in my opinion. You need to be consistent, man. If you're going to stop the fight, don't hesitate and keep letting it go. Just stop the fight. Take the heat there. If it was a bad stoppage, you need to just commit to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so under closer examination of this fight, initially I was a little bummed, and I was like, wow, he stopped a little too soon. He was hesitant, all the things that you just brought up. However, I went back, kind of watched it again as far as when Ben went for the takedown, right? Marcos de Lima was right on top of it.
Fucking throwing massive bombs.
Well, he was going to, and then he looks to Herb and was like, are you going to call it or not? I think after looking at that fight, I think Ben Rothwell was done. He would have got finished on the ground regardless.
Yep.
So I'm actually, initially I wasn't on the fight companion, but I have a right to change my mind, right? I can admit when I'm wrong. I think it was a good stoppage. However, I do agree with you. If you are going to stop the fight, you need to just stop it. You can't do this wishy-washy, grab the fighter and then be like, oh, I don't know, and then go in and stop the fight. But I am glad that he stopped that fight.
Yeah, Ant W, good stoppage. The only thing that made it bad was Herb wasn't quick enough. So by the time he got there, they had already changed positions. Yeah, you gotta commit, man. You gotta fucking commit. You can't just change your mind on the fly like that. And, shout out to Herb Dean. Like, I love the guy. He's a fantastic ref. But it's just, as of late, man, there have been more things like this happening. And I really do think he used to be the golden standard for reffing. But now it's like no nonsense. It's Jason Herzog. It's guys like that now.
Yep.
And all due respect to Herb Dean, though. I really enjoy that. But, let's get to the fight. I mean, these men were fucking trading like crazy, man. Like crazy, man. They just didn't care. Someone's going to sleep real fucking quick. Throwing with reckless abandonment, chin out on a platter, and Marcos just landed way cleaner shots. Ended it real quickly. The power here at heavyweight is just absolutely fucking insane. And that's against Ben Rothwell. This man has a fucking chin of a Greek god. Like, Hercules doesn't even have a chin that Ben Rothwell does, and he still got flatlined like that. That just tells you how much power that man was throwing with.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he caught him clean there and hit him many times, and it was over. It was done. It was fun for the 32 seconds we got it. It was fun. But again, Big Ben, and I said this before the fight, this guy's never going to go try to make a title run. He's 40 years old. I think he's just in the octagon because he loves it.
Yep.
He loves just getting in bangers, and that's what he typically does when he's in the octagon. So, I mean, shout out to Marcos Rodrigo de Lima getting the job done. Now sitting 19-8-1. But I mean, what do you see? What do you see from Marcos Rodrigo de Lima after that win?
Maybe one more unranked matchup, but I mean, with this heavyweight division, it's probably not too hard to break into the top 15. Let's be real. I mean, you got Sergey Spivak, Sergey Pavlovich, Sergey Harris. No, I'm just joking. There's like 9 Sergeys. They're all Russians.
They're all Sergey.
You got Walt Harris. I mean, Blagoy Ivanov, Augusto Sakai, Tom Aspinall. There's a lot of good matchups. I think he could slide this guy in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so let's get into church coin bets.
Gids, can you toss me that water?
Yeah, I put 500 church coin on Rothwell. Did not work out for me. I think we all took Big Ben here. Mason, you had 1550 on Big Ben, and Gids, you had 1,000, my guy. Yeah, that was rough. I was planning on just spending it all on Big Ben's chin, and it failed for me.
Yeah, it did fail for me too, epically, but hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Absolutely. Let's get into Felicia Spencer, Leah Letzin.
Who the fuck is that guy?
I've never heard of her, but Felicia Spencer, she made it pretty competitive there. But Felicia would take her down and just fucking dominate her on the ground, and to get the finish in the third, that's very impressive because there's not a whole lot of big finishes going on in the featherweight division right now. A lot of these fights are going decision. They're all very well matched up. There's like 7 girls in the division. And too bad for Leah Letzin. I was kind of excited to see some new names.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, because I feel like there's nobody in this division.
No, it's a pretty shallow division, that's for sure. But again, Felicia Spencer going out there and doing exactly what we thought she was going to do. She controlled her for majority of this fight, controlled her up against the fence, took her down a couple times, and just implemented that game plan. It was a relatively easy night for Spencer, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And exactly what we expected. You know, Leah Letzin, a 3-year hiatus, too, after that tough finale. She hasn't fought in 3 years in the UFC. It's tough, man, with that ring rust and not being in there. I mean, she tried her best, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I mean, eventually Felicia Spencer is just going to go through the whole division again, and we might have to get her up against Amanda Nunes once again. And I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. Like, at what point? Like, what are we doing with this division? Are we going to build it? Like, it's trash. It's the worst division in the UFC. I'm just going to say
by far.
By far.
Yeah, it's not even a joke. And that's partly due, which no fault of hers, but it's partly due to the dominance of Amanda Nunes. You've not seen a girl even compete with her, especially in the featherweight division. And yeah, you can say, oh, Chris Cyborg. Well, not really. Not really.
Yeah, she got flatlined.
KO'd her in the first round, bro. So it's like, Amanda's on another level. I don't see anyone beating her. You know, Juliana Pena, we're going to have to do, you know, a funeral for her here in a couple weeks. It's going to be rough. Like, I'm tired of saying goodbye to these fighters. But you're never the same after you fight Amanda Nunes. So.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Shout out to A&W. Women's 145 division is so trash. If they don't sign Kayla Harrison,
I'm going to be
just
pissed.
can it. We're going to get into that
We're
MMA
getting into
news.
that MMA
We're gonna
news,
get into
so
that
stay
MMA
tuned
news.
to that, yeah.
Stay tuned, because Kayla Harrison's a huge name, and I just can't wait to see what happens there. But let's get into Church Coin pick. We all took Spencer. I think we all saw it coming. 500 Church Coin for me. Mason, you had 660 Church Coin on Spencer, and Gids, you also had 500 Church Coin on Spencer. Yeah. So good win for us there. Now, Miguel Baeza, Chaos Williams. This was a fight that I didn't even know it was on this card.
No.
We usually only pick the main cards. I should have paid attention, because thank God this fight got moved up. This was a fucking banger.
Yeah, this was a great fight.
Great fight. And what a fantastic matchup. Baeza looked very smooth on the feet and was cracking Chaos Williams hard in the first. The second, they lulled a little bit. I don't even want to say they lulled. It was still a competitive fight there in the second. They went down to the ground. So I was thinking, and the first round, Miguel Baeza almost had like 10 heel hooks at once. Then the knee bar situation, and Chaos was just like, you're not fucking submitting me, dude. And he was raining big shots down there as well.
It was making me uncomfortable, how many submission attempts and watching that heel hook and then the knee bar he was trying to pull off. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to watch this guy.
Yeah, this guy's knee's about to get
fucking
rearranged.
Knee, that's like that's the one thing I can't stand. And again, it's part of the sport and I love it. Don't get me wrong. But like for me, I grimace every time they try to pull off that sub. Cause like imagine blowing out your Achilles heel like that.
Oh, fuck.
Someone just rips your tendons. Oh, like just thinking about that. That's shit out of a horror film, dude. I do not like it, but wasn't successful with the submission. But you know, Chaos Williams looked really good here and got the finish in the third round. You know, Miguel Baeza was my who the fuck is that guy award at the beginning of 2021. You know, he was 10-0. Since then, he's dropped 2 straight. Ponzinibbio, he lost to, and now Chaos Williams. He's had a pretty big setback, considering that there was some hype surrounding him.
And he's still a young guy. He's still developing, and I think losses like this are really is what going to catapult this man into the upper echelon, into an elite fighter, because you need losses like this on your career. Like, as much as everyone loves to be fucking Khabib Nurmagomedov out there, Sugar Sean O'Malley still undefeated, you know, but these losses are what's going to help you, man. These losses are where you're going to really learn to elevate your game to whole new levels. Miguel Baeza is without a doubt a fantastic fighter in this welterweight division. I still think his future is very bright. It's just he ran into that power, and what a stiff fucking counter shot that was from Chaos that put him out. It didn't look like there was much power behind it, but you could just tell the strength and the shortness of that. He doesn't have to get a full extension to get his full power out.
No, of course not. And that's why they call him Chaos William and not Callum.
Chaos.
Yeah, it's chaos.
It's pure chaos in the octagon, and I fucking absolutely love watching this man fight. Like, what do we do with Chaos Williams?
So that's what I want to talk about. So let's look at his record over his last 5 fights. He has won 4 of those. He did lose a decision. It was a loss to Michelle Pereira, December 19th, 2020. That Thompson versus Neal.
That was a great fight.
Fight night. But outside of that, he's 4 of 5 in his last 5 fights, man. I think at this point, you got to throw him to a top 15 dog. I'm being honest.
Why not?
Here's the thing. I mean, Miguel Baeza got thrown Ponzinibbio, and Ponzinibbio's at 13 right now. So it's like, dude, I'd like to see him fight Muslim Solikov. I know Sean Brady's got a fight coming up. You could even do Ponzinibbio or Jing Liang coming off that dominant loss against Hamzat.
You just read Ant W's mind. Chaos William versus Li Jing Liang. I love that fight because someone's going to fucking sleep there. They're going to stand and they're going to bang, and that's going to be a very technical matchup. And Li Jing Liang, the footwork, the unorthodox striking style he has, and the power. If he lands on Chaos, he could put Chaos to sleep, but Chaos is chaos in that octagon, so you never know what happens there. I love that
That's
matchup.
Exactly, yeah. I love that matchup as well. So let's get it done, UFC.
Absolutely. Let's get into church coin bets here. So, we didn't bet on this card, on this fight. That's right. It was last minute push up to the main cards. We did not put any money on there. Don't watch our fight companion for that because we said we did, but no, it didn't happen.
That was like a half fart to full fart. So yeah,
it deserved
it is
double
what it
fart,
is.
damn
Yeah,
near.
it did.
Yeah, but let's get into the opening fight card, or opening fight on the card. Song Yadong versus Julio Arce.
Dropping the hammer, dropping that dong, baby. Let's go.
You can't play with Yadong because he comes fucking hard.
Yeah, he does. He does.
That wasn't a good joke.
He definitely comes hard. I'm assuming because he fucking put the hammer, put the pounding on Julio Arce. We're so immature. Like how many puns are we gonna do? How many stupid things are we gonna say on this podcast?
Not enough. Let's keep going.
No, I know.
Yeah,
But
Big Yadong. I love this man. I fucking love watching this man fight. He's so he's in the top 15. He's 23 years old and he hits with that much power and he still has that much room for growth. This guy is a serious threat to this bantamweight division if he can grow to the level I believe he truly can.
Well, and I definitely think he can. He's 23 years of age, man, and he's fought not the top echelon in this bantamweight division, but he has fought in guys in the top 15. And like he's done very well during that time, man. I fucking love Song Yadong. I think he's got a very bright future in this UFC, man. I'm telling you.
I agree.
I'm really hyped on him.
I agree. I absolutely am as well. I mean, what do we do with him? I mean, Julio Arce was on a fucking roll there, dominating people, getting big knockouts. So, I mean, Yadong, we can't play with this man. He needs a big fight. Who does Yadong fight next? I kind of like, maybe I shouldn't say this. Frankie Edgar. Should we not do that to this man?
No, I don't even know if I'm being honest, like I don't even know if Frankie Edgar is going to fight again. I don't know.
So apparently Frankie has come out and said that he has no plans to fight right now.
Yeah,
but he isn't saying whether or not he's going to retire or not. He just hasn't made that decision. It's still too soon. Yeah. We got to give the guys like these times.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just going to say shout out to Ant W. Song versus O'Malley. If Sean gets past Paiva, I like that matchup.
I do like that matchup.
That matchup.
There's another one that stands out to me a little bit more because if you remember, this fight was actually a draw. Cody Stamann back in 2019 when he was just 21 years old. He fought Cody Stamann. And I think it makes sense in both of their careers right now. I mean, Cody Stamann's number 14. You got Song Yadong at 15. The next winner of that fight gets moved up to maybe a guy like Dominic Cruz at 10 or a Marlon Moraes at 9. You could actually, and call me crazy here, but Marlon's been on a skid, man. Maybe you give him the dog. Maybe you give him the 15.
Or Moraes?
Moraes, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great matchup.
And that's a good matchup.
Marlon needs it. I don't want to say a tune-up fight because that's no fucking tune-up fight.
No, not
anybody in this top 15 is not a tune-up fight. But I think Marlon's in the position where he might have to fight an unranked guy. But I do love that matchup as well. We'll see who wins this Pedro Munoz Dominic Cruz fight. Maybe the winner of that could fight Yadong or something. Even Rafael Santos out there. I'm very excited to see what happens here. He did. I see AJ Wolf in there.
He did in 2020.
Vera. He did beat Vera. That was at featherweight. A lot of people thought Marlon Cheeto Vera won that fight. It was close, man. It was close. It doesn't matter in my opinion. But Vera is numbered 11 right now. I just don't know what happens here. Yadong can play with anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
He hits very hard. So shout out to Yadong.
If I'm being honest, though, I don't want to play with Yadong. I just don't want to do
it.
No, I'm good. I'm going to pass on that one. I'm happily married.
Yeah, shout out to Ignorant MMA. It's hard to grapple with Yadong. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You don't want to grapple with Yadong.
You don't know where that thing's going to, it's crazy.
God, we're just so fucking
We're
disrespectful.
so stupid. We're so
I love it.
No, but seriously, we do love song. Like I'm very much. I mean, we make jokes because we're immature Americans, but hey, it is what it is.
Uncultured American swine. I love it. So shout out to Ant W. Marlon is one loss away from being cut.
Ooh, yeah, that's a hot take.
Maybe. The thing is, this man was a number one contender, but I mean, look at what happened with Tyron Woodley. I mean, he lost 4 straight, and it was fucking gone for this man. I mean, what is Marlon Vera's loss streak right now? I mean, he got
Marlon Moraes, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, Moraes. Yeah. I mean, it's essentially Sandhagen and Marab, right? So it's 2 fights?
No, I think he's on like a 4-fight losing streak, dude.
Really?
Yeah. So he lost to Volkanovski, right? And then he lost, before that, he lost to Font.
That's right. That's the fight I was forgetting.
Right. Before that, he lost to Sandhagen. And then his last win was against Aldo. That was back December 14th.
And a lot of people thought Aldo won that fight.
Yep. But then he lost to Henry Cejudo after that, and then beat Assunção in February of 2018.
Yeah, that man needs a win. That man needs a win, and maybe he could get a win with Yadong, but not a lot of people win when they play with my dong.
But again, you know, this is why I don't believe he's going to be cut. Corey Sandhagen just fought for a title. Font wins one more fight, could very well fight for a title. Dvalishvili, a guy who will definitely fight for the title as long as Aljamain Sterling doesn't have the belt, which he won't have the belt. Petr Yan's going to go out there and beat him. So, I mean, you know, these are all literally top echelon guys in this division. I do agree he needs to take a step back. He needs to fight someone in the low, 10 to 15 range, which I think that's why Song Yadong would make perfect sense. Mm-hmm. Or even an unranked guy I'm fine with. But again, he does need a win, but I don't think he gets cut if he loses his next fight, depending on the matchup.
Yeah. I guess it really just...
It is what it is.
In that situation. Yeah. But shout out to Song Yadong. Shout out to Julio Arce. Julio Arce, like, you can't fucking hang your head down after that loss. No. Like, I was competitive before it happened, and, he's still got a bright future in this bantamweight division as well. And bantamweight is just fucking ridiculous, dude.
I love this division.
I love this division.
I fucking love this
division. If not the best division in the UFC, second best, I think.
I'd have to agree with that.
All right. Shout out to Kevin in the chat. We see you there, my guy. Ant W. It's funny, Sterling is the UFC champ, but I don't think he would... I'm guessing he's even a top 5 bantamweight in the world. Ooh, I don't know about that. I think Sterling's top 5. I just don't see him beating a Yan right now. Like that's the biggest difference there.
And it's hard to make that case when he whether you like it or not. Like he submitted Corey Sandhagen in the first round. Like his jiu-jitsu is great. It's a different story when you're talking about Petr Yan though. I don't think he beats Petr Yan, but I still do think he's top 5. I mean, this division is very stacked. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. You do make a case, though. You do make a case because Jose Aldo's sitting at 5, Rob Font at 4, Corey Sandhagen at 3, TJ Dillashaw at 2.
I know.
Do you pick Aljamain Sterling against any of them right now? Because I'm telling you right now, though I just said that Aljamain Sterling submitted Corey Sandhagen in the first round, that fight, that happens again. That ain't happening that way again. Corey could definitely beat him on the feet. So... he kind of does make a case a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Marab, which he'll never fight Marab because they're training partners. They're best friends. But you may have a case. He may not be top 5. But you know what? The paper champ is a paper champ right now.
We'll have to wait and see what happens, man. I don't know when they make this Yan matchup. It's probably 9 months down the road. He'll find a way to fucking milk this shit. Because I truly believe that man knows he's going to lose that fight. I mean, I know that's rough to say. That's pretty disrespectful to say, but...
It is what it is.
All right. Let's go into church coin picks. We all took Yadong. I put 500 on Big Dong, gave me a nice return. Mason, you put 2,500 on Dong.
Yeah, which I'm glad I did because I lost some fights this week. So I think I should break about even.
All right.
So that's nice.
All righty. Gids, you had 200 on Dong.
I love me a nice Dong.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it. MMA news time.
Oh boy, I can already tell where this is going. I see the first little bit of MMA news and I start going, uh-oh.
Yep. We all know where this is going. But let's stick with the original news first. We want to say at the top, I don't want to get into too much of this rant that we're probably about to go into here. We got to stick here. Jorge Masvidal is out of UFC 269. Undisclosed injury. Obviously, he's not going to say because, he's going to want a big matchup. If he just goes, I fucking snapped my leg or something, it's like people are going to target that. So we don't know what happened. We were talking about how, just last week, Colby Covington was saying, back out of that fight, man. Me and you, Ultimate Fighter coaches, that's the fight to make, and I want to be the one that seals the end of your career. This is what Colby was saying. I didn't see that happening. I didn't see this happening. And then when the news came out that Jorge came out, conspiracy theories caps instantly came on there. So let's stick with the Colby Jorge thing before we get into Leon, okay?
Okay.
Is that what, like, obviously he's hurt, right? This isn't a fucking conspiracy theory, WWE bullshit. Like, we're not trying to just set this up, are we?
Okay, let me just, I'll phrase it this way for the conspiracy theorists out there, and then I'll give you my take.
Okay.
There are no coincidences, but there are no conspiracies. It is interesting to me, and just the timing of all of it, right? So Colby does his big shtick after losing to Kamaru Usman again, and he's like, just pull out of that. You know you want to coach to tough, you know, because that's where all the hype is. That's where all the money is, right? That fight you could really set up, really sell, really promote. And, you know, I wouldn't doubt if Jorge Masvidal put his BMF title on the belt against Colby Covington for more money. So for me, it's very convenient. You know, I don't think Leon Edwards and him stylistically is a fun matchup. As we always bring up on this podcast, even though I fucking love Leon Edwards, he's not a marketable fighter. It's not a big fight. It doesn't get people out of bed or people buying a pay-per-view if they were to be co-main or something like that. However, you put Street Jesus, Gamebred, against Colby Covington, that fight sells. Unlike any other fight. You do tough. And I've said this, but I'll say it again. You do tough. I'm watching every single episode, and hell, before that card, before they fight, I'll probably rewatch the whole season because you know there's going to be beef. You know they're going to be doing the whole rampage, Rashad Evans tearing down the door, trying to fight each other, you know, or like Chael Sonnen and the Axe Murderer, Wanderlei Silva, you know, where they're actually fighting in the middle of tough, man. That's the kind of drama you're going to get, and that sells. I just think it's too convenient that he dropped out. Now, am I saying my personal opinion now? Do I think he could have gotten an injury? Yes. Do I think it's a severe injury? Do I think he probably could have taken the fight and pushed through it? Yeah, I do. But again, that's all speculating because I have no idea what the injury is. It's all speculation. This is all, I'm just speculating that I think for Jorge Masvidal at his career, at his time right now in the UFC, his stock would have dropped so much more had you lost to a guy like Leon Edwards, who no one really has any hype by or anything. You just lost to the champ twice. That's it. So your stock's still up, dude. Yeah, you're not the welterweight champion of the world, but no one else is except Kamaru Usman. No one's going to take his belt. He keeps blasting through this division. Colby Covington coming off that loss to the champ. This matchup just makes perfect sense. The stars are aligning for this to be a fucking phenomenal tough season and an awesome fight that you can heavily promote for 12 weeks before the fight even happens, you know, with tough and everything else. I love it. This is what I want. I want this so fucking bad, Dana. I will pay an extra $10 a month for ESPN Plus. Just get Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal as tough coaches because I'm all in on that. We will do and I'll let you do this, Dana. We will do a week-to-week review on this podcast of tough in every single episode.
Oh yeah,
if those two are coaches.
Oh yeah,
we just didn't gauge any interest with Volkanovski and Ortega. That's no disrespect to those guys. Phenomenal fighters, and we love watching them fight. There wasn't just any true, genuine drama. You bring these two coaches in, man. Everyone's hyped for it. How do you not get hyped for that?
Oh, it's
former training partners, former roommates, former friends, and now they just hate each other. Whether or not you think that beef is fabricated or not, it sells not just to the purists, but to the casuals. That's where the money is. Please make this happen, UFC, Dana White. Make this happen.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I don't know if he did this on purpose. I mean, Cosmic was in the chat yesterday saying that Jorge's scared of Leon. I don't see that as the case. I mean, 3-piece Minnesota, that sells as well. That's a big fight. But does it sell like the beef, like the fucking American Top Team beef? I don't think so.
Well, and here's the thing. 3-piece Minnesota was a big deal in London for like 2 weeks. And then it was just like a phrase for a couple of months, but you really don't hear it anymore. You really don't hear about their beef that much. And even when it is brought up, when they're Twitter beefing, it's not getting a lot of engagement. Not the same way that when Jorge and Colby argue, that gets huge engagement on social media. And you got to be able to gauge that and go, okay, this is what the audience wants. This is what the fans want. Is this matchup more than Leon Edwards? That's just where I sit on it. I really just think it's better for business.
Yeah. I agree with that. Shout out to NW. If you guys don't follow Jesse on Fire on YouTube, you have to start. He leaked Masvidal pulling out 2 days before it happened. He also leaked Francis's contract and Poirier's contract. He's a good insider. I saw you send that in, and I just went and subscribed immediately. So I will be checking that guy out as well. So if you're right there, man, that'd be fantastic news to have. Ignorant MMA. Wouldn't this just make room for Edwards to fight Usman anyways? Tough takes forever to film. Let's get into that.
Okay, let's get into
A lot of
Edwards
people wanted this Leon Edwards fight. A lot of people were throwing their names in. You have Gilbert Burns, Hamzat Chimaev, Bilal Muhammad wanted the fight, Vicente Luque. I think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson also threw his name in there into the mix. They all wanted to fight. They wanted to be on this card, 269. They're willing to take it on short notice. And it sounds like Leon's not taking a fight. He went on Twitter and says he's focusing on Usman. Do they make that fight right off the bat, or does the UFC do what the UFC has historically done with this man and make him fight one more time?
I'm gonna go off a different path. You know, and I was listening to Dana White in the post-fight conference after UFC 268 in Kamaru Usman defeating Colby Covington for the second time, and he brought up Leon Edwards. And he brought up specifically that this man has had a lot of bad luck. Keep in mind, this was before the news broke about Jorge Masvidal. He said he's had a lot of bad luck. He's on a win streak. And he goes, you know what? If Leon Edwards goes out there and beats Jorge Masvidal, he unquestionably gets the next shot. Dana White was pretty clear-cut about that, okay? There's a reason why every single fighter in this welterweight division is throwing their name in a hat.
It's because they know they beat him. They're in there.
Correct. Therefore, that should answer every single question that we have. It is not Leon Edwards' fault, and this is what I hate. It's not his fault that these guys drop out of fights. It's not his fault that Big C, Little V happen. He has done everything humanly possible to continue to fight, okay? Right after the Bilal Muhammad eye poke situation, even though he was dominating that fight. Okay, whatever, I don't care. It's beside the point, okay? It was a no contest. You move on now. Nate Diaz. He took the fight with Nate Diaz. Didn't need to take that fight, but had to fight again. Now he took on Jorge Masvidal because he had to fight again. Just give the man his title shot. Give the man his title shot. He hasn't lost a fight in almost 6 fucking years, and the last time he lost was to Kamaru Usman. He's got the strongest case here for a title, an immediate title shot, because who the fuck else? Who the fuck else? You're not going to give Hamzat Chimaev a shot. Colby, Jorge, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, maybe Vicente Luque, but Vicente does not deserve it as much as any guy who wins 9 straight. And you know what? It's so funny because if you agree that Islam Makhachev deserves a title shot, Habib made the case against Justin Gaethje with the Twitter, okay? And he goes, any guy who wins 9 straight fights deserves a title shot. It doesn't matter who he fights. It doesn't matter who his matchups were. So if you agree that Islam Makhachev should get a title shot, then you should also agree that Leon Edwards just deserves it now. End of discussion. Like, I'm so over this. Leon having to fight one more. And then these guys dropping out. It's like, at some point, let's just give him the fucking shot. Just give him the shot. Because who else? Who else at this point? So that's where I stand.
There's nobody. There's nobody. I agree 100%. But is the UFC going to do it?
I think Dana will. I actually do. I think Dana will do it now, and I would actually be willing to put like a $10 or $20 bet on that because there was something about the way Dana White was talking about Leon Edwards in that post-fight conference where he actually, I felt, and Dana hardly ever has sympathy for anyone, but I could tell he had a little sympathy for Leon Edwards, a little bit, and was like, yeah, this guy's just had a bad luck, but you know what? He took this Masvidal fight, and I think Dana White respects that at the end of the day. Okay, yeah, there were some...
But he's saying no now. I mean, so you said yes or respect, but now you're saying no because obviously I'm sure the UFC wanted to keep him on this card.
But like, okay, that's fine, but do you blame the guy? Again,
you're going back to the same argument over and over. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. You're saying this guy deserves it, and I agree he does, but he's saying no now. Did the UFC want to keep him on this card, I guess, is the big one. I think they did, and now he's saying no to Hamzat Chimaev. Now he's saying no to Gilbert Burns. He said Bilal Muhammad's now fighting Steve Wonderboy Thompson.
Yes, he is.
Does saying no hurt his stock? That's all I'm really wondering. I agree with you. He deserves the number 1 contender. Like, he is the number 1 contender. He needs the next shot.
But again,
how long is the UFC willing to wait, though?
But that's what I'm trying to say is he didn't say... You got on his fucking case saying that he's got to take the fight against Jorge Masvidal. So he
had to. We all knew that.
And, dude, this is what I'm trying to say. He said yes to that fight. He said yes to that fight, winning 8 or 9 straight. He said yes to that fight, okay? This circumstance, Jorge Masvidal drops out. He shouldn't continue to have to take guys on short notice, you know? A Hamzat Chimaev who was stylistically completely fucking different than Jorge Masvidal. Like, guys should deserve, when you're on this win streak, when you are the number 1 contender at this point, the next guy in line, you deserve a full fucking camp. Like... This guy doesn't deserve to keep taking these fights on short notice in fighters who are completely stylistically different than Jorge Masvidal to a Khamzat Chimaev. So I'm on Leon's side. No, he shouldn't have to. Now, if you want to say Leon's got to take one more fight, then at least give him a full fucking training camp to fight Khamzat Chimaev, but don't give him 3 weeks. It's fucked up, dude. It's fucked. Like, this guy has worked so hard for this many years to get a title shot, and now because someone pulled out, he's got to fucking do that? No, dude, no. No, the guy deserves a full training camp at the end of the day. At least give him that. If he's got to fight again to fight Kamaru, then at least give him a fucking full training camp to prepare. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. I'm just going with the history of what the UFC has shown me. They've been consistently fucking this man over. Are they going to keep doing it? I just don't know. I did not see that post-fight interview with Dana White that he was talking about, so that's very interesting. So if he is more sympathetic in that case, then I think he probably will. Who knows what really is going to happen, but, I'm not going to say that I didn't want to see Khamzat versus Leon, because I think everyone kind of does. I think everyone kind of wants to see or even Gilbert Burns. Like, a lot of people were throwing their names in there, but now since Bilal's off the table with Wonder Boy, this kind of opens up Gilbert Burns, Khamzat Chimaev here.
That's the fight I want to see.
That's the fight I really want to see.
I want to see that so bad.
I really want to fucking see. So if Khamzat Chimaev goes in there, ragdolls Gilbert Burns, do they fuck Leon Edwards over again because he said no? Like, these are the questions I kind of have to ask. Does he deserve the shot? Yes, I agree with everything you were saying there. But will the UFC fuck this man over again for saying no? I don't know, man.
So that's a good question. And I'm just going to be honest here on what I've seen from Dana. Because, dude, Dana's that kind of guy. He's got a problem with any fighter if he says it's not smart. Look at Carl Esparza.
Exactly. I was going to bring
that up. He literally just said it's not smart to sit and wait for a title shot. Yeah, if Dana White wanted to come out and fucking get on Leon's case, he would have by now. He didn't. I think there's a reason here. One, it's kind of doing them a favor with this tough shit if they're going to line that up. Second, Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, do that like 6 or 8 months down the road. That's fine. But in the meantime, you do fucking Gilbert Burns, Khamzat Chimaev, right? So the winner of the Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman will then take on Khamzat Gilbert Burns for the winner. Because I think if Gilbert goes out there and starts it, I'm not saying he will, I'm just saying if he does, he's got a good case, man. He just beat Khamzat Chimaev, the most dominant fighter right now in this welterweight division. But if Khamzat goes out there and beats number 2 Gilbert Burns, he gets the next shot. He gets the next shot, man. So I think you will line the Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman fight, and then the winner of the Khamzat Gilbert Burns takes on the next title guy. I think you can actually line it up really well here in this welterweight division.
Yeah, I have no idea how long Leon wants to wait. I mean, not Leon, Usman, because he did say he wants to take some time off, so we might not see him fight till the summertime, really.
I think probably International Fight Week.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
he's a big enough star now.
Is the UFC going to let Leon sit on his hands for 6, 7, 8 months? I just have to keep asking that question because I don't know, man. I really don't know. They fucked this man over. They fucked Tony Ferguson over. Like, who knows what's going to happen? This is super interesting. Like, you're not going to tell me that if Khamzat Chimaev destroys a Gilbert Burns, and then Khamzat Chimaev, he's such an active fighter, he wants to fight every fucking week, goes out and destroys a Stephen Wonderboy Thompson or a Bilal Muhammad, Neil Magny, gets 3 fights while Leon's sitting out waiting. I don't know if they go, hey, Usman, Khamzat Chimaev sitting right fucking here. We want to make that fight. He's going to sell 1 billion pay-per-views in the Middle East with that oil money. I don't know what's going to happen here. I hope they do Leon Edwards good because I agree with everything we're saying here. He deserves it, and he deserves to fucking wait. But I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen here.
I mean, I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong. But I don't know. I just think, again, I think they're going to allow him to.
It's egregious at this point, man. It really is. Yeah. It's fucking egregious. I mean,
how much bad luck Leon Edwards has had with opponents. It's just like, fuck, man. I feel for the guy. But, it is what it is, man. That's the sport.
All right, let's read some super chats real quick. Cosmic, Leon deserves it, but if we go back to Usman after 268, he said he's not even thinking about fighting, wants to spend time with his family. Probably won't see him fight till May or June, I bet. Yeah, I agree. If the UFC really wanted Leon on the card, Dana would have already had done an interview bashing Leon for turning down fights. I don't even think George is injured. UFC just saved two fights by losing one.
I kind of agree with that.
That might be a good point. Yeah. It's a great point to bring up there. Cosmic, Leon is going to be waiting 6 months, so the UFC might throw him a fight. Yes, he deserves it. And W, if George beats Leon, he still couldn't fight Usman, so it wouldn't have left Usman with no fight. If Leon beat George, it would have killed momentum for the Colby fight. UFC pulled the fight. Yeah, that's making a lot of sense, dude. It's making a lot of sense. Conspiracy theorist cap is on, but You're making points, my guy.
I love it.
Yep. Ignorant MMA. Bro, Diaz landed one punch on him and Masvidal pulled out. That is a loss in Dana's eyes. Yeah. Okay, maybe. I don't know. Let's just see. Let's just see what happens here. It's all up to Dana White, man. He is the fucking, he is the dictator of this organization, and what he says goes. So who knows what happens here. Hopefully there are good negotiations going on in the background, because I would hate to see Leon Edwards talk his way out of this fight, because I said it right after the Nate fight. I knew he wasn't getting a fucking title shot. I knew they were going to make this man fight one more time, and I'd hate to see it happen again, man. I really would. And Nick Diaz is another guy that threw his hat in there. He wanted to fight Leon Edwards. So if Leon wants to stay active, that's the fucking fight you say yes to. Even on short notice, Leon Edwards smokes Nick Diaz. Smokes him.
For sure. And then you get the Nick and Nate duo, right?
Yeah.
So
you took out both the Diaz brothers. That's a huge knot in your belt right there.
You know who I'd like to see Nick Diaz fight? Call me crazy here, but I'd actually, and I know he's already matched up with Wonder Boy, so it's not going to happen, but I like Bilal Muhammad against Nick Diaz. I think that'd be a great fight. I don't know why, but I just like that stylistically.
Bilal's another guy that's really calling out Hamzat, and Gilbert Burns also said he'd fight Hamzat on this card. So
that's what I want. Please make that happen.
Yeah.
UFC 269, those two, God, that'd be awesome.
Fucking sweet. I don't care if it's short notice. That's fucking fantastic. I
fight.
love it. Absolutely love it. So shout out to the UFC, really. If the UFC pulled that fight out just to save 2 fights, man, it's probably the great business decision they made there. Because, you know, you keep Leon Usman, that's the fight made, and then you get a huge payday in Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington. Is that 5 rounds? Is that a 5-round co-main event on any pay-per-view in the world?
Absolutely. I think you'd have to. I mean, I don't think they would do it, but I think they should do it. I think it should be a 5-round fight.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it. I don't even think it gets out of 5 rounds, though. I mean, with how fucking dominant Khamzat Chimaev is. Are you talking about that?
No,
Khamzat
I'm talking about
Gilbert?
Colby and Jorge.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
That's a 5-round co-main event.
That'd be a fun 5-round too. Yeah. I think we should have more 5 rounds for like number 1 contender fights. I like it that way, man. On co-mains.
Yeah.
Especially if you only have 1 title fight.
And especially if they're tough coaches, like that has to be 5 rounds.
Yeah,
and
for
I don't
sure.
know if they do a main event pay-per-view there, but a main event, co-main, 5-round, any pay-per-view, sign me the fuck up there. Gids, you got anything to say there before I move on?
I mean, Jesus Christ, you guys cover everything.
I know.
But I think the worst possible scenario for Leon Edwards is a Khamzat versus Gilbert Burns fight, because the winner of that really does have precedence to fight Usman next. Like that I would say is the worst possible scenario.
Well, the worst possible scenario is if Khamzat won that fight.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Because if he comes out and he starches Gilbert Burns, the hype train is going to be fucking unreal for this guy, and he's going to be pushed to the moon. And for International Fight Week, him versus Usman, the numbers on that pay-per-view would be huge.
Insane.
And it would probably be double, triple what Leon and Usman would pull in.
And this is a business, man.
So that is the one caveat to that. Like, if Khamzat comes out and he beats Gilbert Burns, like, Leon might have to take a fight at that point.
Well, and that's the thing. You know, you talk about the hype train. You're so right on that, because like that's the one scenario where it's like Khamzat Chimaev has got so much hype. All the casuals even know who Khamzat is at this point, and then you got the markability problems with Leon Edwards. So again, I do actually agree with that. If they were to make that matchup, it did happen at UFC 269, and Khamzat goes out there and starches Gilbert. I'm not saying I think Khamzat should get the shot, but business-wise, if the numbers are there and the engagements are there on social media, you might see it. So I do agree with that. I just, again, I think
it always goes
better.
back to who deserves it, right?
Who deserves it?
Yeah, but I mean,
we're purists more than casuals.
I've made this argument so many fucking times. I just have to repeat it. If they slanted the Jacksonville Jaguars in a wild card fucking matchup, like, it's egregious. Like, we talk about it with Connor. Connor's a fucking 1 Cowboy victory away from a title shot or something like that. You know what I mean? It's crazy what happens in this sport sometimes. But let's move on to some other MMA news. We said we talk about her. But we have to start with this. Chris Cyborg stole this poor lady's soul. Dude, that knockout was so fucking vicious,
It was
dude.
so vicious and so clean, bro.
So
she
clean.
landed that shot clean. I was like, oh, good God. Chris has still got it.
She's going to dominate that division in Bellator.
Oh, until the day she retires.
And who's in the audience? Kayla motherfucking Harrison, only 1 week after being in the audience for a UFC event. You know she's out negotiating. Where's the biggest payday going to be? And that's in Bellator, man. That's going and fighting an immediate title shot with Chris Cyborg. What a fucking fantastic matchup that would be. But, we said it on the fight companion. Is this about money or is this about legacy?
That's what we talked about a lot on the fight companion, because I think Kayla Harrison is at a crossroads here. And I'm just going to speak, I don't want to speak for Kayla, but this is just me again speculating. I think Kayla is a very smart businesswoman. She just won $1 million in PFL. She knows exactly what she's doing here, okay? You go to a UFC event one week, right? And then you go to a Bellator event for the featherweight championship the next week, right? You keep your options open. I do agree. Bellator pays more, UFC more about legacy, because of obviously the Amanda Nunes, Chris Cyborg for the featherweight belt. Amanda Nunes knocked out Chris Cyborg in the first round. I love both matchups, and I'd love to see where Kayla Harrison is. But I think what she's doing, I just honestly believe that she wants to be in the UFC. I think she's a true competitor. I think she wants to try and take on Amanda, and I do think that she believes she can beat Amanda. So I think she's trying to negotiate a little bit more money. I think she knows that she's not going to get as much in Bellator. But I mean, come on, the girl's a millionaire
and she's
now.
used to those $1 million paydays with
Right.
PFL. I mean, is she going to just walk away from a huge payday from Bellator, like $800K a fight, or, are you going to take $250K a fight to fight in the UFC?
Yeah.
It's interesting there. I don't know what's going to happen. Either way, whatever decision she makes, whether she goes to Bellator and gets an immediate title shot with Chris Cyborg, I'm excited. Sign me the fuck up. I want to watch that. I want to see what happens there. I'm very interested in that matchup. But if she goes to the UFC, she's probably going to have to fight a couple times, at least once, I would think, before they just give her a title shot, right?
Well, I mean, Tabor, we always talk about how stacked the women's featherweight division is in the UFC. So would it be crazy to have Dana just throw her into an immediate title shot? Because here's the thing, and just hear me out on this, because this might be a weird take, but Dana could also always have the option of signing a 2-fight contract with her and pay her decent money, maybe $500,000.
I disagree. I do not see that happening. There is no
Really?
fucking
For an
way Dana
immediate
White.
title shot?
There's no fucking way. Like, I get it. Maybe it's a contender for Amanda, and it might be a big payday, but I don't know what the numbers are. I don't think Amanda Nunes is a very big draw, unfortunately. Like, they used to make her main events in Brazil because Brazilians always show up for their hometown crowd. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, 2 fights seems... I don't see that happening. I think it would be like a 6-7 fight deal. I don't see Dana just letting a woman just come in, smoke Amanda Nunes if that happened, and then letting her walk away for a bigger payday.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point to make. But then, yeah, I mean, if Kayla Harrison's looking for money, go to Bellator or PFL. Ann W in the chats just said that, he was listening to Josh Thompson on his podcast, says Kayla makes $500,000 a fight in the PFL, and then obviously $1 million for winning the championship. So that's a grand total of, $2.5 million for those fights. And then obviously the UFC is not going to pay her anywhere close to that. But Bellator might. Keep in mind, Bellator might pay her $300,000-$400,000 a fight, maybe even what she's making in PFL. Mm-hmm. But again, it's what she wants to do with her career. Does she want to take the best of the best, Amanda Nunes, or does she want to settle for the second best featherweight in the world, Chris Cyborg, and go to the Bellator and be the Bellator champ? It's kind of all depends on what she wants to do.
Yeah, and guys, keep it right here, because the second we get news on that, you will hear it from here first, or I guess this guy that's on fire. But either way.
This guy that's on fire.
Jesse on fire. That's right. That's Jesse on fire. He'll probably. But the second we hear it, guys, you'll know. We'll definitely be talking about that, and we'll be very hyped for either way. So very excited for Kayla Harrison's future. Like, can we just say, like, is she competitive against both these women?
I think Kayla. Yes. And I get it. She's so dominant in PFL that you're like, oh, well, that's not going to translate well to the Bellator cage or the UFC cage. Am I saying she could go out there and beat Amanda Nunes? No, I'm not. But she'll be more competitive than what we've seen recently. You can't get much less. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the featherweight girls, but like, can Kayla Harrison get any worse? Honestly, like, I know that's bad, and I don't mean it. But, like, of course she's going to compete. Like, Kayla Harrison is a savage, bro. I'm not saying she'll win, but I'm saying she'll be competitive.
If she gets cracked by either of those women, who knows how well that chin holds up. But, I mean, she hasn't been hit like that before her entire career.
That's very true.
She's so fucking dominant on the ground with that judo and the jiu-jitsu. So I'm very interested. I almost think she'd have a way better matchup with Nunes on the ground than – no, I can't even say that. I can't even say that. Either way, they're both great matchups for Kayla Harrison, and I want to see what happens.
Yeah, as do I. And I have a question for you guys. If that were to, and obviously we're all MMA purists here, we love the sport, but if that was a main event for a pay-per-view, would you not pay for that? I would be so fucking hyped for that fight just to see if Kayla Harrison could compete with Amanda Nunes, which I think she can. I really do. I'd be stoked if that was a main event on a pay-per-view. I would totally pay $70 for that.
Ooh, so A&W, apparently Coker has offered her $250K to show and $250K to win against Cyborg. Josh and Big John threw that out on their podcast this morning. If she wins, the contract goes up to $500K, a fight to show. Ooh,
wow.
Man.
That's a great offer.
Coker's throwing his dick right on the fucking table, dude. He's like, look how big this is compared to Dana's. He's like,
I hope he's not doing that with those women in the room because he will get Me Too'd for that. But metaphorically with the pocketbook. No, I know. It's funny. It's just fucking funny.
I don't even want to get into this Justin Gaethje Khabib stuff. Do you?
No, because it was literally Allah Baba Baziz. Dude, he was just tweeting back to himself. That's all it was. Like
well, he represents both these men.
That's what I'm saying.
Talking shit to fuck. Okay.
That's what he's doing.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
He's logging into both their. Like, dude, Khabib Nurmagomedov doesn't do that, bro. He's logging into Khabib's Twitter. He's tweeting to Justin, and then he's logging into Justin. Do you think Justin's really a Twitter guy either? Justin Gaethje is like, yeah, fuck it, I'm a fighter. I just go out and do whatever the hell I want to do.
You're making a great point.
It's literally just Ali trying to hype up some shit, some drama to sell more shit. I mean,
This is Lee's.
I don't blame it. I don't blame him. I get it, but the guy's just he likes to be, the guy.
Yeah. Well, I guess gun to our heads real quick. Who's the guy? Who's more deserving of the title fight? Is it Justin Gaethje or is it Islam Makhachev? I know we kind of touched on this before, but
this is so tricky for me. I
mean, you're all in on Leon there.
So
it's essentially the same thing.
Right. No, absolutely. So actually, this is how I'd set up. So from an MMA purist standpoint, this is how I'd like to see. If Poirier wins the fight, Gaethje. You want to see the Poirier-Gaethje
Well, who's Poirier going to say yes to? I said it last week. Does Poirier want to lose his belt that fucking fast, or does he want to go get in a war with Justin Gaethje, a guy he's already beaten?
Yeah. But Oliveira wins. Just give it to Makhachev, please. I got to see that. Grappler versus jiu-jitsu fiend. Charles Oliveira is so good on the feet as well. It depends who wins. Depends who wins. For me personally, but who deserves it more? I mean, Islam's got a case. 9 fights in a row. Justin Gaethje did lose his belt to Khabib Nurmagomedov. I didn't lose his belt, lost his interim belt. Yeah. You guys know what I'm talking about. But lost the championship fight to Khabib Nurmagomedov and then comes back and beats Chandler. But I mean, again, I would like to see Islam Makhachev for that title fight. I want to see if he could become champ. I really do. It's tough for me. It's really tough for me.
Yeah, I
don't know. But I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad if they get
either way,
honestly.
Shot. Either way, it's going to be an entertaining fight. I'm going to buy the fucking pay-per-view. Hey, let's be real. I'm buying whoever gets it. All right, let's move on to our preview show. So, it's been like 5 straight weeks of pretty fucking fantastic main events, and I really think that you could also slide this one up in there. Miesha Tate versus Ketlen Vieira. Ketlen Vieira is coming at a +100 to a -120 Miesha Tate. This is the matchup I was calling for after that Miesha Tate victory. This is a big fight. Does the winner of this fight get a title shot? I don't know, but if Miesha Tate has a way better case of winning this fight, getting the title shot than Ketlen Vieira, in my opinion. Ketlen Vieira has lost a couple fights.
She did lose to Kuznakaya,
which is a big red flag in my opinion, because I mean, no disrespect there, no disrespect to either of these women, but that's a loss that could, like, if she wins this fight, if she beats Miesha Tate, I don't see her getting the title shot, but a Miesha Tate victory, I kind of do, because Miesha's coming in with a lot of fucking hype right now. She's looking fantastic. This is probably the best, without being disrespectful, the best she has looked body wise. Like, she has been in fantastic shape since her comeback.
Absolutely. She's gotten healthier too, over the course, mentally, physically. Like, she's in a much better place now, which is kind of in part why she retired. So, I mean, obviously she wanted to have a kid and do all that kind of stuff too, which good for her. Go be a mom, go do all that. But now she's back and she just means business, man. And I really do love this matchup, especially with Vieira coming off that loss to Yana Kuznetsova. I think if Miesha Tate does win this fight, though, bro, you got a case for a number one contender fight. I don't think she gets a title shot. I think she's got to work her way up still. Vieira's a tough opponent, but again, there are so many girls right now that you could give a title shot to before Miesha. You know, Irene Aldana would be one right off the top of my head. Juliana Pena's getting the next shot. But here's the thing. You do got a case for Miesha Tate because you got Holly Holmes, who've lost multiple times, and Durandame, you know? So it's like, maybe you give Miesha Tate
and Aldana ran right into that wall of Holly Holm, completely outclassed her 5 straight rounds there. So, yeah. Vieira sitting at number 7. Tate's number 8. This is a good matchup. Probably one more fight for both these women. But if it's like there's nobody, man. There's nobody for Amanda Nunes to fight other than like a Valentina Shevchenko. I know we talk about that so fucking much, and I don't think it's ever going to happen at this point. I really don't. I know they both want the fight, I think. Maybe not so much Nunes. But really, like, who else?
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing. You're kind of in a conundrum because Durandame, right, lost the championship fight, but then went out there and beat Juliana Pena in her last fight. So it's like,
you know, now she's getting a title shot. Yeah.
So it's all these girls like beating each other and beating here, this and that. So if Miesha Tate goes out there, has a super impressive performance, sure, why not? I'm kind of at that point now in this bantamweight division just because everyone has fought Amanda Nunes. Obviously, that matchup between those two has been years, you know, since their last fight. So why not make it? Why not make it? If Miesha Tate goes out there, has a very impressive performance, give her the shot. I mean, because who else?
Yeah, There's nobody.
Especially after, you know, Amanda Nunes goes out there and mauls Juliana Pena. Like, again, she's beaten Durandame, she's beaten Holly Holm, she'll beat Irene Aldana, Juliana Pena.
She's already beaten Tate.
Right.
It is what it is.
Let's just get into this fight. Yeah. Ketlen Vieira, Miesha Tate. Dude, this is set up to be a fantastic matchup on the feet. I don't see this going down to the ground unless Miesha really mixes it up. But Ketlen Vieira can fucking bang like no other in this division. She has so much power behind those strikes, and she's a wild woman in there. She loves to fucking throw hands. And remember that knockout she had against Irene Aldana? She's like, like throwing her hands up and then got flatlined. Like, okay, let's relax a little bit. I know you're getting jacked up, but like, let's take it easy now. And ever since that fight, yes, she did lose to Kuznetsova. She kind of got outpointed there, but I think she's set up here for a nice comeback because beating Miesha Tate puts you right back in the mix. Ketlen Vieira is a fucking savage in this division. And I kind of like the line at a plus 100 even. I mean, Miesha Tate, this is a rough matchup for her. She, without a doubt, can lose on the feet, but she was so impressive in that matchup. Would I be shocked if she found a way to outpoint her? No. Which is why I'm actually excited to see what happens throughout all 5 rounds. Does this go all 5 rounds? I don't know. Vieira could knock her the fuck out, but, you know, Tate's got power too, and they're both extremely well-rounded on the ground. I don't know who wins in the grappling exchanges. If it goes down to the ground, it's anybody's game, in my opinion. Somebody takes each other's back, gets a choke, it's over. Who knows? But I'm interested. Yeah. I'm very interested, and I really like Miesha Tate, man. I'm a big fan. As much as I want to put money on Miesha Tate, I don't know if she's going to be able to handle this power. I really want to see how well her chin's going to be tested in this fight. If she can handle it, if she can eat Ketlen's best shots and deliver some of her own, this could be a sweep. But I don't know. I'm leaning Vieira in this fight. I think she's going to have the power advantage. I think she's going to find sneaky ways to land on that chin, and we're really going to see how tough Miesha Tate is in this fight. So I'm going to put 1,000 church coin on Vieira here. Okay. As much as that pains me, I really want to put money on Tate. I do believe in the hype she's got right now, but this is a rough matchup. If she beats Vieira, I'm going to be all in on Tate.
All right. Yeah. For me, again, you talk about both these girls being well-rounded on the ground. And I completely agree with that. You know, Ketlen Vieira having 4 submissions out of her 11 wins. Miesha Tate, though, having 7 submissions, 8 of those by decision. I think Miesha Tate if this fight does go to the ground, I really do believe Miesha Tate will find that submission, maybe a rear naked choke, takes her back, wears on her into the latter rounds. I actually have Miesha Tate here, and I have her by 4th round submission. I really think that I think that's going to happen here. And I put I'm pulling up the notes now. I put 1,000 church coin on Tate for the win at a minus 120.
You know, I'm curious to see what that line would be for Tate by submission. That's probably a decent prop bet. I'd say that might be like a plus 500 or something like that. Yeah, probably a
plus 400 or 500. Yeah.
Interesting.
I definitely, I might go place that next week, honestly.
Interesting.
Gids, how about you? What's your pick?
It's tough because I do think Miesha can be cracked on the feet. I know her chin has been tested before, and we haven't really seen it tested since she's come back. But I don't think she's going to give her the opportunity to stand and bang with her. I do think Miesha's going to go in with that mentality that she's going to get takedowns, and she's going to try to grind her out. With that, I'm going to go with Tate. And how confident do I feel in Miesha Tate? Let's do 2,500. Fuck it.
All right. Damn. Smoking us in this one. I love it. Now let's get into the co-main event of the evening. Michael Chiesa at a +125 versus a -150 Sean Brady.
Wow, what a matchup. This is going to be such a great fight. Again, for a co-main on a fight night, wow.
The undefeated Sean Brady, might I add. 14-0 against 18-5 Chiesa. Chiesa needs a big victory here because he just got completely outclassed there by Luque. And a lot of people, including myself, thought that Chiesa was going to go in there and dominate Luque on the ground. Did not happen. Luque's takedown defense was fantastic. Is Sean Brady's defense, his takedown defense more specifically, good enough to keep this on the feet? Because I know he can be successful here with Chiesa. Chiesa's a good striker, though. He's no fucking slouch, but his bread and butter is the jiu-jitsu. His bread and butter is taking people down, grinding them to mats, and submitting them. Can that happen? Yes. But I think there's a reason why Brady's the favorite here. I think he wins on the feet. I think he's got more power. I think he has more weapons, and he is no slouch on the ground himself. If this goes down to the ground, I'm leaning Chiesa all day. All day there. But is Chiesa's wrestling good enough to get it there? That's the biggest question in my opinion. I don't know. I'm leaning Sean Brady here. I think he's undefeated for a reason. I think he's got a lot of hype for a big reason. There's a reason why they made this matchup. They're really going to push this guy up. If he beats a Chiesa, he's getting a top 5 matchup, in my opinion. Very, very excited for this matchup. I absolutely love it. I'm going to put 1,000 church coin on Sean Brady. I think he could be a legitimate threat to a lot of these welterweights here.
Okay, yeah. I like the breakdown. Michael Chiesa, though, let's keep in mind, the Vicente Luque just didn't beat him. He submitted Michael Chiesa, which is so shocking to me because, again, we talk about how good Michael Chiesa is on the ground. I mean, Sean Brady is no joke, man. This guy finishes fights. He has 3 KOs, 4 submissions. And, Jake Matthews was his last fight with that submission arm triangle choke. I think Sean Brady's better everywhere. If I'm being honest, I have not seen big holes in his game. I've seen it throughout Michael Chiesa's career. I still think he's a top guy. I love Michael Chiesa, local boy out of Washington. But I got to go with the undefeated fighter here, Sean Brady. I'm so confident in Sean Brady here. I'm going all in on Sean Brady.
Really?
Yeah. What are the odds here? -150?
-150. That's decent.
Yep.
That's
I'm gonna go all in.
Alrighty then.
Yep.
Kids?
Actually, you know what? Hold on. Let me figure out.
I don't know. Maybe.
No. Let me figure out my numbers because I also want to put a huge bet on the next fight as well. So I'm gonna divvy those two up, but all in on these next 2 fights. So we'll divvy it evenly, half and half.
Okay, and that's subtracting what you're going to bet on the rest of them also.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll figure out what our church coins are, and then we'll break it down after the fight.
All right, sounds good. Gids, go ahead.
All right, you guys are both going Brady, so I will take Chiesa just to be on the opposite table from you. I also like him at a +150. We'll see what happens. I don't feel great about it, but I like the odds on this one.
All right. Going with Chiesa, going with the local boy. Yeah, you got to shout out the local guy for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what we do. Maybe he'll come on the podcast if he wins.
Hey, maybe.
I don't think we've talked a lot of shit about this guy, so it's definitely a possibility.
Oh, yeah, we love Michael
John
Chiesa.
Jones, he's never fucking
John
coming
Jones,
on. No.
fuck that guy. You're not invited.
Connor,
You're not invited, Connor or John. Fuck both
They
of
might
guys.
just come to beat your
Just
guys'
beat
asses.
our asses, and if we don't do it for the
Wow,
vlog.
congratulations. You can beat up a fat man behind a mic. Like, what are you trying to prove here? Of course you can, you schmucks.
I'd fuck
Well,
him
they
up.
fight women too, so I don't think
Yeah,
they
exactly.
have.
They don't have a
that's
preference
not a lot that
on who
they're-
they beat up. Yeah, that's very true. Or old men at bars. Like, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
they really don't have a preference. They'll
That's
fight
very
anybody. Those hands are rated E for everyone.
Well, I'm shaking in me boots, so.
His foot was a balloon.
His foot was a balloon?
All right. Let's go. Go ahead. Okay. Well deserved. So let's go into the next matchup. Ronnie Yaha at a -110 to a -110 Kyung Ho Kang.
God, I love this fight.
For some reason, Ho Kang is not popping off the page for me. I'm sure we've seen him fight many, many times, but there's just too many fucking names that are constantly turning around in my head. Do you know this man very well?
Yeah, so his last fight was Edgar versus Korean Zombie, that decision split against Ping Yuan Liu. And then he won Brandon Davis, UFC 241, that Cormier versus Miocic 2. So he's had quite the layoff. It's been about close to 2 years. Now, he is a Korean fighter, so I do wonder if he had to do the mandatory service because he's he's a relatively young guy, 34 years old, or if he just took time off, who knows. But I do definitely like Kang in this fight. This is a guy I'm going all in on. I really think he's going to win this fight, no problem.
Really? Yeah, if it goes down to the ground, who wins? Because Ronnie Yaha is
got 21 submissions.
Oh, shit. So this is a jiu-jitsu
No.
match.
I mean, Ronnie has 21 submissions.
Dude, okay, yeah. This guy is a fucking savage on the ground. Ronnie Yaha is a scary motherfucker. And he doesn't look jacked. He looks like an old man out there. Like, he literally has a body of me, but he's at 135, and he fucking just dominates people, ragdolls them on the ground. Dude, his submission game is elite of the elite in this bantamweight division. He has been caught before. He has been finished before. 27-10. It's not the greatest record of all time.
But again, 21 submission wins is super impressive.
It goes down to the fucking ground, dude. Like, it's all Ronnie Yaha, in my opinion. This man, his heel hook game is ridiculous. Ridiculous. And he's willing to eat shots to set that up. So I'm on Yaha here. And it's a pick'em fight, man. It's really a pick'em fight.
It's a -110 apiece.
Who knows what's going to happen here? I'm going with Yaha. I'm going to put 500 church coin on him. I think he's just going to get the sub. I mean, every time I've seen this man fight, he Imanari rolls a motherfucker and snaps his knee in half.
Well, we also cannot disrespect Kang either. He has 2 KOs, 11 submission wins as well. This is another jiu-jitsu fiend. He has only been submitted 1 time in his career out of the 25 fights that he has had as a professional mixed martial artist. I think this is going to be a great jiu-jitsu matchup. We're going to see a lot of
crazy exchanges.
It's crazy exchanges. Yeah, man. I'm very much looking forward to this fight, but I'm going with Kang here. The South Korea, even money, -110. I'm all in on this guy. I'm excited to see him back.
All right, kids.
Wait, did you say you're going all in on him too?
I know.
Well, half and half. Yeah,
half and half. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going all in on both those two. I'm just splitting it up. Yeah.
All right. So
got to catch up, boys. It's almost the end of the year.
It's tough to pick against a guy named Kang, but between the battle of cool ass last names, it's Yaha versus Kang. I'm going with Yaha because I've actually seen him fight more recently. I don't know a lot about Kang, so it'd be tough for me to pick on him. Hopefully, though, we just get a really sick-ass jiu-jitsu fight.
Yes.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Absolutely. How much church win are you putting on him?
Let's see.
You have 500 down, I think.
Yep, 500.
All right, 500 on Yaha. Yeah, copycat. But Joanne Wood.
So is this
It's
Joanne Calderwood?
It's Calderwood.
It's Calderwood for sure. But it says Joanne Wood on the
She did
ESPN.
get married, so maybe her husband, she took her husband's last name.
What are the odds of that?
I know,
that
Calderwood
her
and Wood.
name is Wood. That's hilarious, man. Because Calderwood, Wood, whatever. Tomatoes. She's coming in at the heavy dog, though, at a +240 against Talia Santos at a -300 favorite. A very impressive record of 18-1. Tabor, how do you see this one shaking out?
I think Santos, man, I think she's been extremely impressive as of late. She's been finishing girls. She's got a lot of power. She's a fantastic striker. But that is Calderwood's bread and butter, man. She is a kickboxing. That Dutch-style kickboxing is fucking fantastic. And it's been very good. Remember, Calderwood was about to get a title shot. Valentina, I think she got injured, fell out of that fight. Calderwood took a fight, lost
Lauren
her.
Murphy.
Yep, lost her title shot. Then Murphy took it from her, and it kind of.
It is what it is.
There, I mean, I think the line's actually good. I actually agree with this line. -300 for Santos. She's looked fucking fantastic as of late. And if you beat Santos, you're back in the mix. Yep. That's what this fight is right here. But I am leaning Santos. I'm going to throw 500 church coin on her. I know it's not a big return into -300. It's a pretty shitty one. But I see Santos getting the victory, but you can't ever count out Calderwood. You really can't. She's fantastic. It's just... I don't know what's going to happen in this fight. That's why I'm not putting much money on it. I wouldn't be shocked if either girl scratched out a victory. This is a very tightly contested fight here at 125, and I'm excited to see it. So I'm going to put 500 on Santos here.
Yeah, Talia Santos again at 18-1. She's beaten girls like Molly McCann on her run, obviously. Julian Robertson, and then Roxanne Modafferi. Remember that decision win against Roxanne? We were very impressed with her in that fight. That wasn't too long ago. That was just back in September. I do like Santos here. I am leaning Santos, but Joanne Calderwood is also a great fighter. And actually, believe it or not, I believe Joanne Calderwood has had the tougher competition up until this point. Obviously beating girls like Jessica I, had that unfortunate loss against Lauren Murphy And,
can't count
lost
her out.
Jennifer Maia, but she is a tough girl. But I'm gonna go Santos here. I just think she'll be better. I think she's gonna win it, and I am putting 300 church coin on Santos for the win.
All right.
Well, I'm just gonna go the opposite of you guys because I think it's no fun when we all pick the same fucking people.
I respect that.
I'm gonna go Joanne Wood, whatever. What are the odds she married someone with the last name of just Wood? There's no fucking chance. It has to be a typo. So give me Joanne and let's do 1,500 at a plus 240.
Woo! I like it.
Let's just see what happens.
I like that bet, dude.
Yeah.
That's a savage bet.
Absolutely.
But at a plus 240, dude, that's a huge return if you get that. And it's not a bad bet, honestly.
No, it's a
for
good
that
one.
heavy of a dog.
It really is. I really like that line. I almost put it on Calderwood too, but Santos, the hype is real in my opinion.
The next one I think is tough to pick.
This is a very, absolutely. Let's get into that. So we got Davey Grant coming at a plus 210 to a minus 260. Adrian Yanez. This is a fucking fantastic matchup.
And to start the card off, too.
Dude, this is going to be a banger. This is going to be a fucking scrap. I know you guys were talking about it in the chat. I saw that. You guys were saying Ignorant MMA, Adrian Yanez versus Davey Grant is a great scrap. It absolutely fucking is. Davey Grant, he did just lose to Cheeto Vera. That was a rematch. That was a few years into the making. Cheeto just out-Cheeto'd him. It is what it is there.
It is what it is.
But you cannot count this man out. I know Yanez has a lot of hype behind him right now. He's coming in at a minus 260, and that makes a lot of fucking sense. Dude, this guy is destroying people on the feet. What is he on, like a 3 or 4 fight like knockout streak or something like that?
3 fight knockout streak.
Crazy.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, 4.
Yeah, he's flatlining guys.
Yeah. And then he had that split decision back in the LFA. But Dana White Contender Series, he was on season, I want to say it was 2020, so that would have been, season 2? But anyway, got the knockout win there, and then since then has head kick, KO, TKO. Like, he's insane, bro. Like, this guy's really good. And he just fought on that July fight night, the Corey Sandhagen, TJ Dillashaw fight, and looked phenomenal in that against Randy Costa. As you just said, he's got a lot of hype surrounding him. Davey Grant's no slouch, though, man. I think this fight is going to be a banger. It's going to be competitive. But, dude, I got to lean Yanez here, man. I like it. I like it at minus 260. I think the line is good here. Not a lot of value on that. I'd probably go Yanez, KO, TKO from a betting man, just based on, the resume of what he has had. But it's hard to finish Davey Grant. But again, that's how I'd bet it. But as far as the church coin bet at a minus 260, I got 1,500 on Yanez.
All right. I agree, dude. I really want to put money on Yanez, but every single time I count this Davey Grant guy out, it comes to bite me in the fucking ass. It really does. I did think he was going to beat Cheeto Vera because he did win that first time, but Cheeto just, he looked fantastic. He's definitely evolved his game. Davey Grant, he hits with so much power, but apparently this guy's best bread and butter is his wrestling. If he could take Yanez down, dominate him down on the ground.
Very good point.
Plus 210, that's looking like a fantastic fucking line. Well, I'm going to take Grant at 500 church coin. I hope he takes him down because you bang with Yanez, it just hasn't been good as of late for guys.
Well, the thing is, that's where as you said, his wrestling, his submission game is his bread and butter. Out of the 13 wins,
but he's flatlining guys,
right? Yeah. But out of the 13 wins, he has 8 submissions. That's a 62% finish rate, like just based on like finishes, all by submission. That's a good line too. You might want to hedge your bet and go Grant by submission as well. I love this matchup though. Very intriguing. Could go either way.
Absolutely. Shout out to Ignorant MMA real quick. This fight is who swings faster in the pocket, and I think it's Yanez. And Ant W says I see Yanez catching him.
Yeah.
This one's tough for me because I do think Davey Grant can go in there and try to grind him out. But if this is contested on the feet, I do think Yanez's striking could catch him, and I think he could finish him. I don't think this fight goes to the judges. I think this is going to be a finish.
Yeah.
So, sorry. Give me Yanez, and I'm not going to be as crazy. I'm going to do 500. I just don't know how this fight's going to shake out.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup.
We got to get you a little lamplight over there because you were so dark over there in the corner. I feel bad for you. All the lights are focused on us, but Then we got our producer in the corner in this dark corner with the walls painted black.
It's also fucking cold. So
Yeah,
it's
cold.
really, it feels like prison.
Yeah, that's funny. I didn't take my sweatshirt off. I was sweating my balls off. Maybe that's the lights.
My balls was hot.
I'm fucking hot as
We haven't
fuck
got to
right
use
now,
that in
bro.
so long. That's great. I
Hey, my
forgot that was on
balls
the
literally
board.
are fucking hot right now. I'm
Yeah,
sweating
dude,
like
for
crazy.
real. I'm sweating too.
Yeah, shout out to Ignorant MMA. She's talking about Joanne Calderwood. She married Coach John Wood. She now goes by Don't Called Her Wood.
Punny.
Yeah. I know, we need that one on there. Guys, newest segment of the week. Do you just want to start it here?
Let's do it.
Ooh, what is
I don't know what it is.
I don't
I'm
know.
actually-
It is. We're going to pick a fucking parlay. This isn't going to be church
Damn
coin
it. I
bets.
didn't know we were doing this.
Let's just do it.
All
Let's
right.
just fucking do it. We talked about it. I say we do it. And let's see. Each person has a parlay of the week. This is not for church coin, guys. This is not for church coin. This
We
is
will
completely
eventually,
separate.
though.
But hey,
will be church
you know, we said, hey, hit that Trevor Whitman parlay, and you guys did. So if you want to, you know, bet alongside of us, this might be a parlay that we could possibly make here with real money. And my parlay for this week, I'm going to make it 2 fights because there's a lot of fights on here that could go either way.
Either way, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to say Sean Brady, Ketlen, Vieira, in my opinion. I know they're both favorites. I don't know what that line is.
No,
With
Ketlen
that-
Vera is a plus 100.
Oh, that's right. So that helps there. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to make it 3 fight parlay. Whoa. I'm going to go Ronnie Yaha, Sean Brady, and Ketlen Vieira. That's my parlay for the week. I do believe that that's a very, very safe bet. It's probably not the biggest line. You probably aren't going to get like a plus 1,000 with that parlay. But you know what? I do think it's a lock in there.
Okay. Gids, what's your parlay for the week?
All right, I was hoping you would go next, but you know,
okay.
I'll
What?
make this shit up. No, I got this. So give me Joanne Calderwood at a plus 240. I do think she can win this fight. Give me the safety of Sean Brady. He is undefeated. I know Kies is a tough fight, but I do think Sean Brady has the ability to knock him out. And then at a plus 210, I think with him, I got to take Davy Grant. So Davy Grant, Sean Brady, Joanne Calderwood. The odds are going to be astronomical
If you
for this
hit
parlay.
that,
Yeah, if you hit that, that's
if you
big.
hit
You'd
that,
be
that's
able to
huge.
make some money. It's not the safest parlay, but if you're just trying to see how you're going to make some good money on this one, that would probably be where I leaned. But I'm also an irresponsible gambler, so.
Yeah, that's
It is what it is.
But again, you know, for those heavy parlays, you put $5, you know, or $10,
Precisely.
like, you know, on a plus 1,200 parlay, or that might even be plus 14 or 15. You make $150, you know. I mean, I wouldn't recommend. We're not financial advisors. I wouldn't recommend betting big on that, but that's a good one for the value on that. If you hit all 3, you're cashing in. You're cashing in, bro. For me, I like Yanez in a parlay. Give me. It's funny. I like Sean Brady too at that value at a minus 150. So Yanez, Brady, and I got to go Kang in that 3-5 parlay at a minus 110. That'll give you a little more value for that parlay. Mine's a little bit more on the safe bet. And again, that fight could go either way. That's the only one I'm a little iffy on. But I like that parlay for a 3-5 parlay. Yanez, Kang, Brady.
Guys, if you hit any of our parlays, feel free to give us a little bit of that cheddar in a super chat. It'd be very greatly appreciated. No, I'm just joking, guys. Just do whatever you guys want. But we're thinking about doing parlays every week. It's fun.
It's fun.
It is
Yeah,
fun.
and then you hit a parlay, like it's nice. It's really nice. And that's something that we're trying to bring value to on the show too, is like with the odds, how we're going to bet. That's why we started and incorporated the church coin bets. And then we just add another element with the parlays, 1 parlay a week for everyone. I really like that idea. I think it's fun, man.
Yeah, I think it's fun. Let us know if you guys like that in the chat. And let us know if you guys hit one. If you guys take one of our parlays, hit us up in the DMs. Show us the tickets. Let us know if you hit one, man, because we will give you a fucking massive shout out if you do.
Absolutely.
If you don't hit one, don't complain.
Yeah,
Don't-
we are
don't
not.
We are not financial advisors.
are
and
not.
we all gamble irresponsibly.
We do.
That is what it is.
And that is 110% on
It is
you
what it is.
because we do not finance or advisors for finance. Yes.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So
Why they call it gambling.
that's what makes it fun, guys. That's what makes it fun. Shout out to everybody that showed up. Ignorant MMA, Ant W, Kevin Weeks in the chat, and Cosmic, of course. And
With
plus,
the
you
super
get the
sticker.
$5 super sticker. Thank
Hell
you
yeah,
so
thank
much,
you,
my guy.
dude.
We appreciate that so much. AJ Wolf, you guys, you're so fucking awesome. Thank you so much for engaging with us. We love this community we've built already. We have so much stuff down in the pipeline coming for you guys. Like, we are doing this for you guys. We love that we're growing at a great rate right now. And I say it every week, guys. I'm going to start saying this until we do it. We're pretty fucking close to 1,200 right now.
Yeah,
I think we're at like
1.2.
1190 something.
Yep.
So 1,200, I think we could hit by the end of the week. But I'm telling you guys,
I think we're only 9 away.
1,500 is without a doubt a possibility before the end of the year. That is our goal.
Especially with UFC 269 coming up as well. That's going to be a huge
fight. We have the Font versus Aldo fight companion as well. Guys, we're going to be doing as many fight cans as we possibly can. We will not be doing one for this card. We're going to try to get some stuff done for the studio this week.
Yeah, we got another wall to paint. We actually have like really fun ideas in the works too for our Patreon, for the disciples of the Church of MMA. We're working on some Patreon stuff, kind of giving you more access, more content. Obviously we're going to be fucking around with the board, trying to get more mics so that we can have other podcasts on in this local area who've been very interested in coming on Fight Companions. We don't want to announce anything because nothing's official yet, but a lot of things in the work for the podcast, man. We're just so excited.
We're super excited. So guys, you don't have to super chat. You don't have to donate. You don't even have to join the Patreon if you don't want to, guys. I know with the economy and things have been tight for a lot of people with Big C, Little V. So you don't have to donate if you don't want to, but we really do appreciate all those donations. They go straight back into the show. But if you want to help us out, man, you don't want to spend any money, when this live stream ends and the comment section opens up, feel free to leave a comment. Hashtag for the algorithm, guys. You don't understand how much that pushes us up in the search bar, in the analytics. Every little push of the like button, every little time you guys send our link out and you get a new subscriber, like it helps us so fucking much, guys. And we appreciate everything you've done, but we are asking for your help. Push us to 1,500, guys. Steal your girlfriend's phone, steal your mom's phone, steal your dad's phone. You see a phone randomly at McDonald's, you take that guy's fucking phone and you subscribe to the podcast, okay?
I wouldn't recommend anything illegal. However, also, you don't have to just comment for the algorithm. Like, what I really want to start seeing is I want to see everyone's picks every single week, especially these guys who are in the chat week in and week out. Ant W, Ignorant MMA, AJ Wolf, Kevin Weeks. Guys, start commenting your picks. I really want to see who you guys have in each card. Just write down the 5 fighters you think is going to win. Like that's the kind of engagement we love to have because we're all fans. We all want to, pick fights and stuff. We want to incorporate a church coin for everyone eventually one day. So yeah, comment below. Let us know who you're going to win.
That's another thing we're really talking a lot about, guys. If you want to bet alongside us and be in this church coin competition, that's probably going to be a Patreon exclusive thing. So if you guys subscribe to the Patreon, maybe this next year, it's coming up very soon. Guys, if you want to bet alongside of us, we'll keep track of everything. Maybe look into some apps. Maybe there's an app that could do it all for us. But if not, fuck it. We put in the extra work. It's worth it if you guys are donating like that. So if you want to bet alongside us, join the Patreon. $5 a month gives you exclusive vlogs, exclusive second service podcasts, and so much more down the pipeline. We are very excited to see. Maybe even exclusive, like a podcast where we let you guys call in,
I'd really
and we'd live stream it to our Patreon. And you know what? Eventually, one day, this podcast blows up and we can afford it. Guys, we're going to start flying fans out of the show. Day one guys are at the top of the fucking list. Subscribe to the Patreon. Get on that list. If we have the money, we will fucking start flying people out for Fight Companions.
Absolutely.
Because nothing would make me happier. I mean, guys, as much as we'd love to get like fighters on and like people that are in the community and stuff like that, that would be fucking awesome and is without a doubt a possibility down the pipeline. But you guys come first. The fans, because that's all we are. We're just a bunch of
number
UFC
one fight
fans.
fan podcast. Manifest that destiny right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, so thank you so much for everything that you're doing. All right. Like I say every week, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at the Church of MMA. Guys, if you aren't following us already, make sure you go and do it. Funny memes. Try to make you laugh. Hit us up.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for subscribing to the Church of MMA podcast. My name is Mason Knight. That is Tabor Cragen. Getting to Mars in the corner on the 1s and 2s. And until next time.
Peace.